Fellow Americans, citizens of the world, the day has come that we all feared. The day we must control ourselves. The day that we must stand together and fight the urge to fight. As your president, I encourage you. Control your goddamn anger. So yes, everybody, what's going on? That was a little message from President KRS. So, oh my gosh, yes. Wanted to, make this lovely video on Mars retrograde, which is happening starting yesterday. And this retrograde, my God, boy, people are aggressive, using weapons, using whatnot. I mean, just in Brooklyn, New York, I think somebody used a machete on this innocent bystander in front of a liquor store and just killed him. But what most amazing is that, oh man, just even at going to a restaurant today, not only the workers, the people in line are agitated. Like I'm trying to, I was at Chipotle trying to get my burrito. Oh my God. You can feel the tension between people. You know? So one of the biggest thing is you got to understand Mars is not only just retrograde, but Mars is conjunct Ketu, a very surprising unorthodox energy where a person can just lash out for no reason. And especially you got to understand Mars is walking backwards towards the war zone. Mars is walking backwards into the battleground. Why? Because Mars is going from retrograde from Sharavan to Uttaraashadha. Mars thought it had finished the battle, but it hasn't. It is going back to re-enter the battle zone. And the thing is, naturally, everybody is going to be very agitated, aggressive language, aggressive behavior, not being able to tolerate things. See, Mars, when it's exalted, very patient, strategizes, waits for the prey, then it attacks. It's kind of like, because remember, Capricorn is known as Makar, sign Makar, meaning it's about crocodile. Crocodile, like, like the head, the pond, stay quiet, and it's here comes. Ah! Now here what's happening is alligator and his cousin came to visit, which is crocodile. Or you can go either way. Crocodile is there, and then alligator, the cousin, is there, and he's all like, man, I'm hungry, I gotta get some food. Where the hell is this deer? Come on now, it's middle of the day. And crocodile's like looking at his, shut up! I'm trying to get a deer for us. Shut up! God damn! That's remember those hyenas in Lion King? Man, who is Mufasa? That's what's happening right now. Mars' cousin Ketu is coming to visit, and it's ruining the plans of Mars. So as patient as Mars wants to be, it's with its cousin, and then not only that, Mars is going backwards, meaning Mars is feeling frustrated because it feels like it has to finish the war again. Because the deer that it caught in the pond, and he thought he had it saved, it's actually starting to walk. He's like, man, I gotta get this, and I gotta get my prey that I got yesterday. Come on now. And then while his cousin's still flapping, man, I'm so hungry, I can eat a crocodile as well. And then crocodile goes like. So in this particular period, you definitely have to watch your language, your behavior, your agitation. uh, patience, pretty much. See, why we get angry is when we don't have patience. Why we get frustrated when we don't have patience on things now, 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 now. And what? Why does it want it now, 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 now? Because Mars is the main culprit. The patience. Saturn is patience. Saturn is patience. It is, but Mars, that energy that literally deals with patience because of the fact it's a soldier. Soldier's not patient. It's gonna lose every battle. And right now, Mars is just being. That means the Mars within you is being. So that's something you have to be aware of, because once you're aware of this fact that, oh, my Mars is retrograde, Mars is in my third house, and and I cannot stand these useless posts that are being posted, and I think I'm gonna lose it on my cousin. My cousin post on his guru. Whenever you think like this, just back and be like, who's the one who's at fault? Is it the person posting, or is it the person who's getting agitated by the message? And it's always the person who's getting agitated by the message. When people get involved in political debates, people get involved in social welfare, social reform, they want to change, they want to fight for something, and they're arguing with the other people. Um, for me, I see a bunch of monkeys just fighting over a banana, and a banana that does not exist, or a banana that is not even ripe. Because no matter what happens, you gotta understand there will never be peace on this planet. There will never be a perfect situation. Even Trita and Satyug had Raman, had all these other demons that were there, all these mischiefs that were happening. I mean, if you read the Rig Veda of Soma, you know, stealing Tara from Jupiter. I mean, these affairs and these kidnappings were going on, you know, in the times of gods. Once you realize these type of things, back and look back at the world, then you realize, oh, I'm the one who's getting agitated because my Mars is in the third house and is wanting me to get agitated by something which is related to the third house, which now is the internet and social media, younger sibling, neighbors. See, neighbors is, I mean, I have, you know, have seen people never got into anything related to the neighbor, no matter how bad the third house was. Because third house is really of any kind. So Mars and Ketu are right there with machete. One is with a machete, one is with a sword, ready to just cut somebody's throat. So this is where now your intelligence and your consciousness over. You're like, okay, I know Mars is making me feel this way, but I think I have a free will. I have a little bit of free will that can, defy this energy of Mars and say, yes, I get agitated. I'm feeling agitated. Yes, you're doing your job correctly. Awesome. But guess what? I'm not going to act upon that agitation. I'm going to act upon that frustration. That's what astrology is here for. People who are able to do it is people who are like centered and balanced in their mind and in their body and spirit. Like Yogananda, you know, he whenever he went to astrologers came to his home. His mother brought astrologers home. He always told them, "Give me my worst time period. I want to know my worst time period. Tell me that." And they would tell him, "Okay, this period is going to be very, very bad." He's like, "Yes, they were, but you know what? I came out of it just nothing happened to me that much." Why? Because he just simply became aware that, okay, I'm aware now that something's happening in the sky. Because it's happening, it's gonna make me feel this way. Okay. Oh, now I know why I'm feeling it. Why I do not have lack of patience. And this is why so important to learn, knowledgeable. Like, you know, when and funny enough, I was watching just debates on sports channels. I mean, they're becoming really aggressive, just talking about sports and teams and getting aggravated with each other, or what this player is gonna sign with and what team they're gonna go to. People get passionate. Yes, it's great to have passion, but when you have passion for like what team this player is gonna sign a $200 deal where you're not getting a cent of it, and yet you are debating and fighting and bickering like a monkey. It's in these moments that I feel that everybody in world should be aware of astrology, aware of transits. So when this person on television is getting agitated and getting ticked off and very little things, they'll be like, "Oh, I remember Mars is retrograde and it's conjunct Ketu and it's going right on my 10th house. That means I'm gonna have fight with my colleagues. I'm sitting across them and I'm debating them on some other guy and his money and what he's going to do." Once you start looking at things this way, you will start seeing not humans, monkeys fighting over banana. That's all it is. And this is why it's so important. Like, you know, what I used to think this way. Just, I would say till even last year, like, okay, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of God? Where is God? How do I know what is the other realm? Why are we here? What is the reason for this physical existence to even be here? And I want to know the answer. And I used to talk to my great guru and teacher Rishi over the phone, literally 1 hour, 2 hours, just debating where is God. I want to know God, and not the way to know God. And now I understand it, because it's like you telling your child who says, I want to be a rocket scientist, I want to be a rocket scientist, I want to be a rocket scientist. You can't take a 5 year old and tell them to fill out an application at NASA. Okay, you can't do that and tell them, here, this is it, there you go, go work for NASA, go work for SpaceX. There you go, now you're a rocket scientist. The child will be lost, the child will be confused, the child will be like, oh, I don't want to be here, I just want to be on the rocket. Okay, fine, you're in a rocket, can you take the G-force, the level 4 G-force? You'll die in just one G-force. So this is where you understand that, no, I need to go back to school, kindergarten, I need to then go to the first grade, I need to then go to the junior high school, then I need to go to high school, get good grades, I need to go to then college and university and learn physics, applied mathematics, you know, astrophysics. After I graduate, then need to work on my PhD. Then I'll to really have mastered, or I need to join Air Force if I want to be an astronaut. Well, that's the process. The process to understanding your passion for rocket science. Same thing. Where I want to know God now. I want to know God now. But what grade am I in? What grade am I in this universe? A T, as he calls it. Not a universe. This is university. What grade are you in? And depending upon your grade, that's how closer you will be to God. For that, you need patience and maturity. And this is why this Mars retrograde is going to show you what level of grade are you in. Are you a high schooler who has, like, literally the head is cut off and they're just running around, you know, thinking that I'm not going to listen to mom and dad, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to drink all day, I'm going to do drugs, and I'm going to hang out with my friends? That's life. I'm going to be rebellious because I love my boyfriend or my girlfriend. And that's who we are when we're pretty much chicken with his head's cut off. Why? Because we don't know. We're not aware of the language of the God. Same thing with astrology. When you are not aware of the language of astrology, everything bothers you. Everything bothers you. But in the last 7-8 years, ever, actually now 10 years, ever since I, really took up astrology seriously. Um, how many planets have gone retrograde? How many planets have gone combust and Saturn has transited all over my planet? But it has not steered me from that balanced state. Why? Because all it is, I'm not even doing any remedies. I'm just like, all it is, I'm just aware, you know? And now through me, my wife is aware. Like my wife had it on her calendar, marked. Like, what is this circle? She always has a calendar in the kitchen of somebody's birthday's coming up, of this is coming up, or here, there. Success. Oh, it's like, oh, this is the Mars retrograde. And so, yes, I know what Mars can do. I'm like, okay, like that. That's interesting, right? And she actually got this from Joni Patry. So, she's aware on her side with her people through me. So once you're aware, you're like, oh, okay, yes. So it went retrograde yesterday. They're just normal. It's where things are not normal is when I stepped outside the house or when you guys are emailing me aggressively. Oh, where's my reading? It's late 2 days. Give it to me now. Like, oh man, didn't email me this whole time and now you're emailing. I'm like, oh my God, Mars is retrograde. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. So then I sit back and I read those emails and I'm like, it's amazing. Even after being aware, people are not aware. Because now that Mars's energy is retrograde and that the cousin, the Chris Tucker cousin is with the alligator. Here a crocodile has alligator cousin. Man, I'm hungry. What's going on, man? This is so damn bad. I want some fried chicken and whatnot. So this is what I hear when I read emails or when I see people outside behaving. So don't be the monkey. Don't be the chicken with its head cut off. Be the person outside from the cage or outside from the observatory looking at everything. Like, my God, what in the world am I doing here on this planet? That's what you got to be. And once you're that, well, that's the first step, graduating from one class and going to the next class. So amazingly, I no longer even care. No, really, what is God and where God is and how did we get created? First, I need to know my. See, here's the thing. Forget about God first. First, know yourself. First, ask the question, what am I? Am I a soul? Okay, so what is a soul? Is it just some empty space in the middle of my chest? Is it like a blink of a light? Is it like a really strong electromagnetic energy that is storing on my or in my head, as they say? What is this? What is this soul? Talk to me. Get to know that first before you try to say, "Well, I know God," or "I want to know God." That's not the way to go. So Mars being retrograde, especially with Ketu, and then going towards the battleground. Uh, be aware you don't want to be in the battleground. Let Mars be in the battleground. You don't become the catalyst of his warmongering nature right now. And especially because it's in Saravan and it's retrograde, um, obviously this is not the time to buy properties. Because Vishnu will take your properties with 3 steps. And if you, let's say, look at the ascendant or from the moon, if you study this from making the moon in your horoscope the ascendant or just health, and it's very important to understand transits should be read from moon and both. Don't just read it from the moon or don't just read it from the ascendant because a transit from the moon is no longer considered a transit. Do you know that? My great teacher, A.V. Sundaram, has clearly stated this. The moon, it's known as Gochar. which that brings in karma into play. Gochar. From the ascendant is the transit. It's what affects your will. From the moon, it's not just affecting the mind. It is actually bringing in a certain action and a force to deal with. So if you do not know, if you have where your Mars is, what sign or ascendant is it in sidereal, go to my link astrologycares.com. We're on option 5 and beyond. Word. Second page, Vamsha. And especially one thing you have to do when you especially study the transit of Mars and how it's going to affect, look at its transiting house in the Drikna, the D3 chart. The D3 chart, Mars becomes the Atmakarka of this chart. So whatever your ascendant is, just which sign the Capricorn is, that's where Mars will be transiting. Mars will greatly affect that part of your life. And that's also going to be in the report. You're also going to see Ashtak Varga score. I've made enough videos, I think, on Ashtak Varga. Look at the Sarvashtak Varga and Binashtak Varga of Mars before you judge Mars in your own horoscope. That's going to determine the factor of evil and good. If Mars gives you more than 5 points in Binashtak Varga scheme, which in the report you will see this chart. Watch my video and then watch that chart. You'll know exactly what you're looking at. Then look at the accumulated score, Sarvashtak Varga. If Mars receives more than 32 points, even 30 points, it will give you great results during its retrograde. Why retrogression does not do bad for everybody, and it does not do good for everybody. This is why doing these horoscopes or ascendants and all that, absolutely useless. You're giving us such a general perspective that half will agree with you, half will don't, and you're simply subconsciously as a human, you will only look at all the good things that you predict in the horoscope because hey, they said it became true. What about those who did not become true? Why? Look into that. In the human nature, because the ego comes into play. That means I'm wrong. The reason why you're right and wrong is where Mars is transiting from the and from this is where you'll know, oh, retrograde Mars, you said it's going to do so good for me. It didn't do any good for me. Well, now you'll know why. So it's very important to study that. Knowing this, if it's occurring in your ascendant, most definitely you're going to be very much active towards your physical body, working out, playing sports. Like you would go back to the gym that you canceled your membership in because Mars is being retrograde. You're going back to the battleground. Battleground now is your body. You want to perfect that body. You want to win the battle over your body. The second house, don't deal with family assets right now. You'll get agitated. You'll get frustrated. You're going to want to take over family assets. And before you do that, check the Ashtak Varga that Mars is receiving. Third house, I've been talking about it. The whole social media thing. Fourth house, not the greatest period to buy property. But obviously if Mars gets very high Ashtak Varga points, then definitely it becomes an excellent period to buy property because Mars and Ketu both represent property. Ketu represents conquered land, Mars represents charging towards the land. And it's exalted. If it's retrograde, yes, you're going to have some major delay in trying to get that escrow closed on your property. Always some problem will come up. Or if you're not aware of astrology, you'll get into fights with your real estate agents. And within the home, you may fight over your family. Oh, I want my dad's property. You don't deserve it. You're just a younger sibling. I get 80% of the property. When you do this, just imagine that picture of a monkey fighting another monkey over land or over a banana. If it's not destined in your chart, you're supposed to give it away. You're supposed to clear off your karma because you probably took that property from your brother in your past life. Probably were renting the property out and that person lost their job and their daughter was about to get married and you kicked them out of their home because they didn't pay you for 2 months of rent. And now they're coming back as your brother to conquer the property from the father. This is how life works. So if you lose that in the battle, great. You're supposed to, and it's a great thing that happened because you just wrote off that karma. Like one of the best things that I can tell you right now with this Mars retrograde is to read the book Siddhartha, Gautam and Siddhartha, where Siddhartha is working for this merchant and he's bringing all sorts of profit for him. But when he doesn't, he's indifferent. When he brings a profit, he's indifferent. He doesn't care whether he gains something from this man or no, whether he makes money for this businessman because he's giving him 1/3 profit. Content, it is life. What are you gonna do on that land that you went from your sibling? You're gonna get it and then you're gonna die. Many people win property from their siblings after fighting, from their mother after fighting, and within 2 months they get a heart attack, they die. There, enjoy. All that anger, all those curse words you gave your family member because your name wasn't in the property. Ooh la la. You know, on the 5th house, don't be so competitive with your children. And tell your children, don't be so competitive to a point where you're hitting somebody in school. You're bullying somebody in school. This is an excellent time to have fun. Excellent time to, sit back from all this competitive behavior that you're putting yourself through or your children, and just sit back, take a vacation, go to some theme park. Because Mars in the 5th house is fun, it's sports. But with Ketu, it can become so competitive that it's like a killed or be killed situation sometimes. So instead of competitive sports, go to a theme park, have fun. In the 6th house, naturally, without you doing anything, things will happen. There's no free will here. There's no free will here. This is the house of Prarabdha Karma. From the moon and from the ascendant is the house of Prarabdha Karma, meaning something that must be paid back before it goes back. So if you're defeating your enemies right now, you have some litigation going on, it's no longer in the hands of the astrologer to say if you're going to win or not. It's on to their Prarabdha Karma, your past life karmas. So now, in the 6th house specifically, when we look at transit, if some house, look at its position in the Dwara Damsa chart, the D12 chart, because you are supposed to pay some karma back of the ancestors or your own self. So look at the position of Mars in the Dwara Damsha, the D12 chart, and in the report, see which house it's transiting. If it's transiting a good house, then yes, you will get the good things from it. If it's not, it'll be difficult. Look at the Ashtak Varga. Even if you don't want to go look at the D12, you don't know what it is, go look at the Ashtak Varga of the 6th house, the Binishtak Varga, the Sarvashtak Varga, the mathematical numbers that each planet gives to a certain house. If it receives great points, of course, then the Prarabdha Karma will be that somebody has to give you some debt that they owe to you versus you owe it to them, because Mars is a Karka of the 6th house. Mars is the Karka along with Saturn of the so whenever Mars is in the 6th house, a person always pays they get in debt, but they always pay it off as well. When it's exalted, you're going to go back and pay some debt off, or you're going to go back and collect some debt from someone. In the 7th house, there's going to be dominance towards spouse. There can be dominance, towards other people that are coming after you, or other people are trying to dominate you. Other people are being aggressive towards you. So what is the best thing to do in this time period? Don't try to interact with out there too much. If you, let's say, go out for happy hour every day after work, just go once a week or just go straight home. Try to interact with people. Try to socialize with people too much, because no matter how much you socialize, even if you're aware of what's happening in the sky, the other party is not aware of it, and they're going to try to anger at you. Like you owe one of your coworkers some money, and they've been looking for you for past 2 weeks, and they see you at this restaurant. Things can heat up, even if they're your colleagues, or somebody got a promotion for you versus some other colleague. Same thing. Eighth house. Eighth house. This is probably not the best time period to get surgery, especially if it's low Ashtak Varga points. But this is a great period. Put all your energy towards learning something hidden, learning something mystical. There will be great curiosity and action taken towards um, learning some occult mystical science, but at the same time, will also, and you could gain insurance inheritance from this place. You can have sudden reversal of your debts. You can have sudden reversals, of some decisions that may have gone against you. And obviously, this is the house of surprises, sudden surprises. So whatever is stored in there, you can check from it through Vadadam Shakti. Ninth house, don't argue with gurus, don't argue with teachers, don't argue with, father, because you're not in the right mind. You're trying to justify your own belief system compared to someone else's. And even though you may be right, you just don't know how to say that I am right, you're wrong. Your argument towards your counselors, your advisors, will come out a little too dominating, especially because it's retrograde. Right now is not the best time period to, you know, join some organization, religious or spiritual, because one could be tricked with that organization. In the 10th house is where Mars gets a full Digbala. So if it's occurring in your 10th house, Mars is getting full directional strength. And with Ketu shows you're going to beat competition and get some sort of a promotion, higher income. If Mars receives low Ashtak Varga points, it's not going to do too much of a damage. What's going to happen is you're going to hate your colleagues. You're going to get into fights and arguments and debates with your colleagues, especially when it is in the Uttarashada Nakshatra. You will debate about political in office, so please don't do that. Keep your mouth shut. Think of yourself as a monkey trying to fight another monkey on a blue banana or a red banana. Then you will stop. Because remember, looking at everything as monkeys fighting over each other. So you don't want to have me watching you, right? 11th house. Definitely not the best time period to interact with elder sibling or to do business with them until it goes direct. And this is an excellent time period where your children will receive recognition, and at the same time, your father may provide support to his own younger brother. And your father may actually get into, especially due to the Ashtak Varga, may get into heated battles and debates with your elder sibling. So they all need to be aware of these things. In the 12th house, your spiritual sadhana will be disturbed. and it'll be disturbed due to your professional life or due to your own shortcomings with communication over social media or younger sibling. So obviously, keep your practice going, keep your sadhana, your meditation. Yeah, it'll be disturbed. Let it be disturbed. Remember, Ketu the knife, Ketu cutting things. Gonna try to cut the things in the 12th house. Let's say you give donations regularly, maybe you get delayed in giving. Gotta go to foreign lands, there could be snags and delays. Your trip can be cut short. You not get to go to. Don't. Don't be like Gotham. Oh, I didn't get to go to foreign lands. Get that job. Happy. Somebody world lands, and then their trip was canceled. They were depressed. They didn't talk to anybody. They hated everybody in their family and friends. They were looking to lands and live in foreign lands. But in 4 months, they got a heart attack and they died. Imagine between that sad news, that person died, all they did was just bicker over like a banana that they something happens which is bad. Say, oh, bad thing happened to me. Okay, fine. What else is out there that I can do? Yeah. So just be aware. Don't be a monkey. A conscious, and you will find Mars transit. Mars, when it transits in not really going to affect so much. Like when it goes over a certain planet, yeah, then it triggers a whole. Mars is going over things related to that planet, depending upon the bad. You know, and I was planning to do like live readings for people here. Like, hey, I'll look at your Mars and see what the Mars and Ketu will bring to you. But then I don't want to. They're not gonna do good. They're not gonna do good. So I don't want to be the one telling you live that this is a bad transit for you. You know, privately I can explain it my own terms, my own way. But anyway, I mean, good. I hope this has given a good insight in Mars transit that is happening. My audio is breaking. Why? My audio is not supposed to break. I have a pink audio. It's my lipstick. It's not supposed to break. All right? So shut up. Otherwise, I'm going to leave. Okay, I'm leaving then. Fine.